You're listening to the Last Man In podcast. Covering Winnipeg hockey and the NHL.
Scheifele dances his way in. Scheifele scores! Blake Wheeler finds the far corner. And the Winnipeg Jets win it in overtime.
Last Man In, episode number 149. We're without Greg, so it's going to go off the rails. We already know this.
No, it's probably going to be better.
Well, here, I'll do a Greg tease. I'll only do two of them because I know we're going to talk about both of them. We're going to talk about the season. The NHL season officially ended. And by ended, I mean there was a cup winner. So now next season technically starts now. And the expansion draft. That's it. So let's get right into it. First off, I just want to say I finally did it. Dan, how long have we been betting each other for? I was trying to think about this. Like 7 years? 6, 7 years?
2010 was probably the first year.
Yeah.
So
okay, so
8
seasons? Years?
2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. This is our eighth
year
bet. I don't think you've won the final once.
I don't recall ever winning the final. And Dan and I and Greg, we always do our bets. And I finally did it. I picked the Pens. I picked them in 6. I finally did it. And not only did I bet with you guys, I bet with my dad. I doubled down on my bets too. And I was like, you know what? Well, not actually doubling down. I don't know what that term means. I just know the sandwich term. But
So I just want to confirm
go.
that we each won a round.
We did.
And we tied one.
Okay, so first round,
I won the first round, which is the worst one to win because the prize is not that
Which,
good.
you know what, it should be reversed because, that's the hardest one to win because you have
So
to
many
hit
teams.
so many more.
Yeah.
So, round 1, it's beverage of your choice, as in, like, a Slurpee, a frozen hot chocolate, ice cap, and then we added in this year a snack. So, like a bag of chips, candy, whatever.
That made it a little
Dan won that one. Second round is fast food meal, which is usually a great one. We all tied. What was it, 4?
I think we each had 4.
We each had 4 points.
Our point system, there's no logic
We
to it.
realized our point system was super flawed when Dan and I tied, but then our players also tied or something? No, you beat me with the play.
It didn't make sense
Yeah.
because basically what it was is you get a point if you pick the right number of games and you get a point if you pick the right team. But if two people pick the exact same thing, then we pick a player for tiebreaker. But there was a confusion because some people thought that meant you each get the 2 points plus someone gets a third.
That someone was me. That's cleared up.
Whereas I thought that you each get 1 point and then the tiebreaker gets the second point. Because I'm like, it's not really fair that every series is worth 2, yet it can be worth 3 only if 2 people pick the same thing.
And then
my strategies are going to be, I'm going to pick the same thing as everybody.
No, that's exactly
just to get the third point.
Yeah, and that's what you said too, and I was like, damn.
It just didn't make sense.
So then we implemented in the next round, which was the third round conference final, which Greg won, right?
Yeah, we still own pizza.
Yeah, well, we'll do the pizza
We
expansion.
still have to buy fast food for everybody. We still have to buy our own fast food.
I thought because we all tied, we should just eat, all go to Walmart, buy a family-sized salad, each, and eat it without dressing. Because we did bad.
If there's dressing, I'd be okay.
No dressing. You can enjoy it because we're all tied. But anyway, so for the third round, we basically got rid of, the third point, and we said, okay, what is it now?
I don't even know.
It's we just have to revamp our system a bit. It worked great when it's only
It's great when no one picks the same thing.
When Dan and I pick, when it's just Dan and I, it's super easy because I always go opposite of Dan usually anyways. And so the player was like, oh yeah, you get it. You win because your player had more points. But then there's 3 people in that second round or the third round. I was like, well, why would I get the same amount of points? I picked the game and the team, and Greg only picked the team, and he got the same amount of points. And it was only me getting mad because I was like, damn it, I have to pay now. It sucks. Because I did the math, and I'm like, if I don't win this, I have to pay.
In the end, it didn't matter because we both have to pay for the pizza.
Yeah, so Greg got the pipizza.
And then you get the Chinese food.
Oh, but you got the 2 most expensive ones then. Because
I have to pay for the 2 most expensive ones.
Pizza and Chinese food. Yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, so needless to say, Pittsburgh Penguins, they won. Okay, well, Game 5, they won 6-0 at home. And then anything notable happened in Game 5?
Ron Hainsey scored.
Hockey-related, Ron did in fact score. Yeah.
He did.
But, I'll get to
No
that.
celebration.
Well,
it's 6-0.
I know, but still. I was like, wow, come on, man.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't remember anything
How long did
notable.
he go without scoring a goal here? 2 years?
2 years?
He didn't score 1 goal for the Jets.
I think he had 3 goals in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Two
for sure.
At least 2 that I know of,
Yep.
for sure.
Well, wasn't the first year he was in Carolina? Didn't he go 6 games or something. Like, he scored, like, right away with Carolina.
He might have.
I'm pretty sure he did. It was in at least the first 15 games.
So what did we
Not
learn?
bad though. That's the thing.
We learned Ron Hainsey is the Sidney Crosby of defensemen, where Crosby can't play with good guys. He's got to play with like the third, fourth line guys to be good. It's just weird because he's like, well, why would I want Dustin Byfuglien passing me the puck? That's silly. When I could have. Oh, I'm drawing. I can't play with Justin Falk. Yeah, Ian Cole. Yeah,
I didn't even know he's playing with.
yeah.
I don't even know who's.
He probably played with Ian Cole in Carolina.
Is.
Yeah. Well, we got the.
I actually have a funny stat about that. It's the
Go ahead.
first time ever that a team won the Stanley Cup where none of their defensemen got a Norris vote.
I saw that. That's madness. And
First time ever that not one defenseman got a single Norris vote, and they won the Stanley Cup.
Okay, well, before we get into the
Technically,
stats,
Chris Letang. I mean, I don't know if he would have gotten one.
Well, he only played like 30 or 40
So,
games.
but yeah, literally, not one of their defensemen got a Norris vote, and they won the Stanley
okay,
Cup.
well, nothing notable happened in Game 5, 6-0
No.
Pens. So then they go to Nashville, who once again, everyone's had like Nashville's atmosphere, like it's insane, it's awesome. So Game 6 happened, and before a game starts, what do? They sing the anthem.
They do.
Now, I'm going to give Greg the W on this one, because last podcast, Matt was there as well. Oh, by the way, I didn't introduce anyone. Dan's here, and the replacement Matt, because Greg allegedly is down with the sickness. I don't know what sickness.
He's listening to Disturbed?
Yes, he's
Okay.
disturbed. That's it. He told us he had the mumps, but apparently if you have the mumps twice within a span of 6 months, you're probably going to die. So I really hope that's not the case. Greg, although we do have like fantastic pictures of Greg when he had the mumps, I'm not going to put those on the internet just yet. That's for a later date. That's called blackmail. That's what I'm going to use that
If
for.
Greg
later.
ever gets married, then they come out.
Yeah, that's going to be on the cake. Actually, he's going to get a DQ treats of pizza, but printed like on like the cookies that I'll get him to put this. How creepy would that be? A textured DQ picture cake. Ugh. Anyways, that'd be creepy. Just in the shape of Greg's face. Never mind, I've got too far. All right. Anyways, Greg, his choice. Mine was Dennis K. Morgan. Who did you have, Matt? Garth Brooks? Or...
Jason
No,
Aldean.
I took Garth.
Okay, you took Garth. You had Jason Aldean.
Yeah, because he was at the game 4.
Greg said he's like, oh, I'll take Faith Hill and or the original Tim McGraw. But I was like, I turned him down because I was like, they're on tour right now because they
were just here.
They were in Winnipeg last Wednesday.
They were here like 3 days before the game.
Yeah. And
Like
so
4 days before the game.
Yeah, and so I was like, well, they're going to be on tour. They're not shirking that town.
They
did
announced-
it!
They announced her. I'm like, what?
They were just here. There's no way
All right.
technology allows them to fly from one place to the other within 6
I'm not
hours.
a geography whiz, but I know that Winnipeg and Nashville aren't that close.
Well, we know.
And the fact that they're probably doing a tour through Canada just
no one knows better.
didn't make sense.
No NHL hockey fans besides Winnipeg know the map better than us. Because year one, they were like, all right, we got a home at home, Florida. And you're like, what? What do you mean? They're going to get off the plane and walk in. They're like, yeah, we know. Yeah. But you're Atlanta, technically. We're like, oh, thanks, Gary, you dick. Come on.
Pretty much.
And then they're like, all right. So Florida just actually left Luongo at home. He's playing at the home and home tomorrow.
They did the A squad, B squad games.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what they did.
Should have done.
But anyways, so Faith Hill, I'm going to give Greg the W on that one.
Well done.
Then, so while in Nashville, the fans obviously are crazy. The Penguins, first off, to start the game, Nashville scored. I didn't hear a whistle go. Apparently, I saw the ref though waving his arm. He lost sight of the puck.
This was that whole I was gonna blow the whistle thing.
No, apparently he did actually blow the whistle.
Oh, well, you
It
could
was
see
just
him blow.
really-
I didn't see the play.
Okay, basically, I don't know who
I
shot
heard
it.
about
but-
it though. Apparently he blew it dead and the puck was loose.
Well, okay, Murray had it tucked, like he was in the position as if he had it tucked underneath one of his left arms. So like he was, because they were coming in, he was on one far side of the hugging the post. He had it tucked. But Murray, so the ref's angle was looking at Murray, not from behind him, in front of him, saying, oh, he has it tucked, he's a save. He had it for like maybe like one Mississippi. Like that was even probably too quick for the amount of whistle, like the quick whistle. So he blew it, but as he's blowing it, like Colton Sisson, puck's loose behind him, hits it in, Nashville goes crazy, and then the refs, like, they all gather, and then they go review it, and they're like, no, whistle blew, no goal. And then the Boo Birds came, because it's
Did they
Stanley.
review it?
They did.
Yeah.
I think they went to, yeah, they had to. You got to review something
And
like that.
games, yeah.
It was game 6, yeah, Stanley Cup final. So then the game goes on, 0-0 for the rest of the game pretty much.
57 or so minutes?
Yeah, it was. Okay, I got it right here. So I have Patrick Hornqvist scored with 1:35 left in the game. He banked it off of like the side/back of Pecorine and in. 1:35 left.
Mm-hmm.
Bench is going nuts. But a clip came out of Crosby, and you could hear the mic, or you could read his lips, basically. Team's going nuts. They're like, oh my God, we're going to win the cup. We're going to win the cup. And Crosby, he celebrates, and then he's just like, calm down. Lots of time. And then he sits down. I'm like, Jesus, fun.
He had to say that. He has to.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And then 14 seconds left, Carl Hagelin, because obviously the Preds got to pull their goalie, got to do something. Carl Hagelin seals the deal.
Blew by everyone. It showed how fast he actually is.
Yeah.
Throughout the series, he didn't
Why
look
was
that
he-
fast.
Throughout the series,
He
he
was a
looked
healthy
fast
scratch
because
for a lot of the playoffs. Like, why?
Because he just wasn't... He was coming off that injury, and he wasn't clicking.
Well, safe to say he's not going to get protected
No.
in the upcoming expansion draft then.
No,
No, it doesn't matter if Fleury's going to Vegas.
Well, we'll get to that too.
sorry.
But no, it's not. I'm not. That's the one thing I noticed when I'm listening to Greg podcast, the Camp podcast. Is Greg really keeps us on track, but it sounds great when it's done. Me, I'm like, we're just talking. Then I'm like, wow, I teased I started half a sentence and I didn't come back to it 10 times.
It happens.
I'm sure it's already happened 3 or 4 times now.
Probably.
But we don't know. We just keep talking. But anyways, so the Penguins win 2-0, and Sidney Crosby won the Conn Smythe Award. Mm-hmm. So because of that, did you know? Actually, I'm sure you guys know this.
His first player to win it back to back, or
First player win
in
it.
a
Only
long
the
time.
third one. Who was the other 2?
Lemieux.
Lemieux in 91-92 and
Parent.
Bernie Parent, you
Parent.
bastard, in 74-75.
Damn.
So what we know is if you're going to go back-to-back Conn Smythe, you have to play hockey in the state of Pennsylvania.
See, I'll say that he actually deserved it this year. He shouldn't have won it last year.
Well, he was up there last year.
I think Phil should have won it last
Well,
year.
it's the thing we were talking about the other day, where, you can look at all the other guys like Gensel or whoever else is playing.
Malkin.
Yeah, but how do you look past Malkin and Crosby when you're looking at the best player
Yeah.
on the ice?
Yeah,
So-
I heard that in
yeah,
another
for
podcast I was listening to. They said that last year, and because I was pissed about Kessel last year, but then they were like, how do you honestly because Conn Smythe is best player on the ice award, and specifically almost
So
in that series.
Who won the Conn
really.
Smythe in 2009 when they won?
Malkin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he was he was
that's,
insane.
That's fair.
Didn't he have 40-something points that year? In the
I don't know if he had 40
Yeah.
because the records. What's the record?
I don't even
36.
Okay.
You know what? Either way, he had a boatload and he wrecked house.
You can
Yeah.
never, no, it's fair to say. I'm not saying don't consider Crosby. I'm just saying last year I don't think he was the number one contender for it. I'm saying he definitely was up there, but this year, as far as I'm concerned, he was the right guy to get that trophy.
I just want to read off Sidney Crosby.
He said he had 5 points in Game 5? 4 points in Game 5?
3
He would have had
assists.
three assists.
3
I
assists.
think he scored 2.
No, 3 assists.
Oh, did
He only had 1 goal in the series. In the entire, he was at breakaway on Rene.
Anyways, still, I mean,
It's Sidney
he
Crosby,
single-handedly took over. He took over a game that they lost.
Okay, I just want to
I'm not
read.
saying that's it's good that they lost, but he was the most dominant player on the ice, and in a game that they didn't win.
So starting June 12th, 2016, I want to read you Sidney Crosby's last 365 days.
I saw this. Let's hear it.
Okay, dear diary. Nope, sorry, I'm just kidding. He's won 2
Why won't
cups.
the Flyers ever win anything?
Yeah, no kidding. That's me every day. Oh, wrong Pete. Oh, let me flip that page. So, 2-time Cup champ, 2-time Conn Smythe winner, World Cup of Hockey gold winner / whatever the hell that trophy was.
Gold, is that a gold medal? That's a
World
gold
Cup
medal.
of Hockey.
Yeah, World Cup of Hockey trophy.
Yeah.
He won the gold. Yeah.
He also won the MVP.
MVP.
tournament.
And he Rocket Richard, and he's nominated for the Hart Award and the Ted Lindsay Award. So Hart is voted by media, and Lindsay is voted by players. So players consider the Lindsay more important than the Hart, just as a player. Maybe in the media we don't. I think he's got both of them.
I think
locked
he's
up.
got a very good chance.
I'm not sure about the Hart. I think they're going to give that to McDavid just because.
Oh damn, that's a
Wow,
good one.
yeah.
See, you know what's funny? I didn't even
Yeah.
think of because it's been so long. What, a month since I haven't seen McDavid, and I'm like, what has that guy done? I almost thought Carlson, but I'm like, no, Carlson didn't have a great season. He had a great.
He still had a
Whoa.
good season. Let's not.
Yeah, I'll correct
Yeah.
myself. He'll probably win the Norris.
No, I don't think so.
I think he does.
Well, who's against him? See, it's been
Burns.
Oh,
won it.
damn.
Burns, who had 30 goals, but
Burns
you
should have
look
won
at-
it last year, so I think he'll win it this year.
Oh, is it going to be the Hobie Baker type deal with Kyle Connor?
No,
that still irks me.
I still think Brett Burns had the best season. I think he deserves it.
Well, if you look at it,
Did he get 30 or did he get close to
defenseman,
30?
no, he had 30.
He got 30. Yeah.
But I just look at it; it's the best all-around defenseman, and Carlson had the most blocked shots. He was only like 4 points behind Burns. And
He had to play.
and Burns
Played the
tailed
playoffs with
off.
a broken foot.
Name his D partner, Carlson.
The thought.
When
Was
the
it
thought
Thought?
goes down, who's his D partner?
Well, Fanuff played in there a little bit.
With Cody Cece.
Well, he was playing with CCN and he was taking shifts with
But
Carlson.
Oh, I mean, he
yeah,
very well
exactly.
could
But
win.
then again,
He's-
hey, if I said that for Burns, I think the only other D I know right off the top of my head is Pickle, so Vlasic.
I think
But I don't think
Burns
they
plays
played.
with Martin. Paul
Oh
Martin.
damn! Never mind. There goes that argument.
I saw something today. I think it was the Conn Smythe voting, and Carlson was the only guy not in the final that got vote.
Yeah, and
He
people
actually
were
got
like
votes.
ton of respect, and I'm
not
like,
surprised.
why would you?
I
He
think
was.
Why would
he
you?
honestly
incredible.
I
probably
thought-
top 3 candidates in my opinion.
I thought that's the
Even though
rule.
he
Like,
wasn't in the final.
you have to make the final first.
Well, that's just always the way it goes.
Yeah.
For so long, it was so weird for it to come from the team that didn't win. And
That's
it's
true.
happened a few times.
Well, let's see. I think I
Twice.
have a stat on the Conn Smythe voting. Hold on, give me a minute here. There it is. All right, here's the Conn Smythe voting. So Sidney Crosby had 11 first votes, 4 second votes, 0 third votes. Malkin had 3 first votes, 11 second votes, 1 third vote. Jake Gensel had 1 first vote, 0 second votes, 10 third votes. And then the rest of these guys had 1 third vote. Like, as in, 1, 2, 3, you put them in order. PK Subban, Phil Kessel, Matt Murray, Eric Carlson were the guys who were on the ballot. So it was a landslide.
So Rene
Crosby.
went from being the number 1 candidate going into the finals to not even getting a vote.
He didn't get a vote on any of the Conn
You want my
Smythe
honest
votes.
opinion, though?
Yeah.
Marc-Andre Fleury should be on there over Matt Murray. They would not even be in the conference.
He went 9-6, right? And then what did Murray play? 4 or 5 games?
Fleury was the reason that they were even in the conference final. I get that Murray came in and finished it off.
Didn't Murray get hurt?
They don't have Fleury. They probably get out of the first round, but second round, not a chance.
Well, didn't
Because they got severely outplayed by Washington in a lot of those games, and they still won. So, I'm not saying Matt Murray's not deserving, but Marc-Andre Fleury probably more than Matt Murray. In my opinion, I don't know. Can you do a tandem? Can you give them to both of them? Say Conn Smythe? Can you do that?
We talked about that last week. You can because Friedman looked into it because he wanted to give a tandem vote to Murray and Fleury.
Yeah.
They have to play 2 different positions. They can't play the same position.
But you can actually give it to 2 guys, different positions.
Yep. So you
What
could
if
have
they're on
given.
different teams?
No, I'm pretty
Same
sure.
team?
I think that's. I don't know the rule to that, but I'm
weird.
assuming because then I just abused that vote
strange.
the whole
Then
time.
there's no point in having MVP because then each team gets an MVP.
Yeah, exactly. And are you really going to share an MVP?
Well, exactly.
I wouldn't.
I'm just saying the goaltending was a team effort.
I'd share an MVP. You still probably get something pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know, a car or something. You never know.
Yeah, you can probably get a bonus or some kind.
Actually, yeah, you definitely get a bonus because I know Caves the year he won, he got.
Yeah, that was the reason they had to get rid of Bufflin and all those guys because
Everybody.
his bonus winning the Conn Smythe put them over the cap.
It wasn't
Did he?
just that; it was their winning the Stanley Cup bonus too.
That's true.
I don't know how much over the cap they were. I think it was $5 or $6 million was their overage charges for Kane and Taves alone.
That's true. So, but what I want to say is just interesting, weird stat. Pittsburgh's won 5 cups. Every one of their cups they've won was on the road. They've never won a cup at home. And they also join Boston as the only other city. I want to make sure I get this right so the internet doesn't come after me. Although I did not get any cat pictures. Come on, people. What are you doing? Wrong one. Twitter. Here we go. All right. Pittsburgh joins Boston as the only cities to each have one franchise to win 5 Stanley Cups, 5 Super Bowls, and 5 World Series. Dang.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool stat.
That's a cool stat.
Pittsburgh and Boston are actually the city of champions. So that's decent. Oh,
who
here
claims to be the city of champions?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh does claim.
Isn't it? Oh no. Oh, well, Edmonton's the city of champions in Canada.
Oh, that's fair because they're the only ones that win anything in Canada.
Well, they only have 2 franchises. They have the Eskimos.
Well, yeah, but the Eskimos, when they named it the City Championships, that was a time where Gretzky was winning all the Stanley Cups
And
in Edmonton. And the Eskimos were winning with, like, Warren Moon.
And to fill everyone in, the Eskimos are the CFL team. And now that it's summertime, you'll definitely hear us, like, banter about CFL. Just Google, like, CFL highlights, and you'll be like, oh, it's like watching the NFL team practice, but the B squad practice. No.
Hey, on the plus side, the Riders haven't lost in the new stadium yet. They also haven't won. So.
Yeah, so my favorite team,
They
Saskatchewan.
have played a game, though.
Saskatchewan
Yeah,
Roughriders.
I saw it. What the heck was that?
Our league is so awesome that we can literally end games in ties. Like, real.
The NFL does, too.
The NFL, oh yeah, I guess so. But
Well, it's much harder in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Okay, so back on to Pittsburgh, though. Playoff wins in a salary cap era. Who has the most wins, do you
Pittsburgh.
think? Okay. And do you think...
I saw this stat. They have actually quite a bit over Chicago.
So Pittsburgh's in first with 91 wins. Chicago in second with 76. Anaheim in third with 70. Detroit in fourth with 68. And this one shocked me. San Jose in fifth with 64.
They usually made it pretty far every year, didn't they?
That's incredible.
They usually made it to the third.
3 of those teams... Okay, no, sorry. Detroit did win a cup. 2 of those teams haven't won a cup in the salary cap era.
Yeah, Anaheim and...
No, sorry, Anaheim did. So San Jose's the only one.
Yeah, Anaheim
Yeah.
and San Jose. So, I mean, there's
That's
that.
even more impressive that the Kings aren't on there and they've won 2.
Yeah, well, I'm going to name the next 5. It's called Cameron Reads His Twitter. That's exactly what this podcast is going to be.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Dan Reads his Twitter pretty soon, too.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay.
Dan takes snapshots of his Twitter.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it did. Worst shots on goal per game differential by a Stanley Cup champion since 1960. So basically, shot differential. So the worst one was the 67 Leafs. They had a shot differential -4, and then the 71 Canadians -3.5, and then the 61 Blackhawks at -3.42. The 2017 Pittsburgh Penguins were on average per game outshot by 3 shots a game. 3.04,
Yep.
and then the 2015 Blackhawks 2.87. They were outshot per game. That just means that when their shots, they made them count.
Well, you look at a team like Pittsburgh, and you have Malkin and Crosby and Gensel coming out of nowhere, and Kessel. Like, you just go down the list, and all they do is score. So all they need is that one chance, right?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, now before we hop off Sidney Crosby, and then we move on to greener pastures, here's players to captain 4 teams to Cup final. Wait. Yeah, that makes sense. Just teams to captain teams. Let me name them. So Dennis Potvin, 5 times he led the New York Islanders to a Cup final. Then you have Gretzky. He did it 5 times with Edmonton and LA, like to combine. Crosby 4 times with Pittsburgh. Scott Stevens with the Devils. Steve Yzerman with Detroit. Yvon Cournoyer with the Canadiens. And of course, the greatest captain of all time, Bobby Clark in Philadelphia. Again, great things come out of the state of Pennsylvania when it comes to hockey. Football, different story. But that's okay.
The Steelers are okay.
That's a lie. Okay, half of
They've won 2 Super Bowls in the last while.
Yeah, well, one day
I'm an Eagles fan. I know how much they suck.
One day the the Eagles have never won a Super Bowl, eh?
No.
The Vikings won the
They've
last
been
year
in, like,
before.
3 years. Yeah, no, the Eagles won one before it was...
I think the Eagles won the year before the Vikings won.
They've
and then
never
the
won a
next
Super
year,
Bowl, but they won the trophy before it was the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, they merged the leagues
Yeah,
together,
yeah,
the American Football League and National Football League, and then they came together.
No, last time the Eagles were in the final in 2005, they got beat by the Patriots.
That was when I used to like the Eagles. I was an Eagles fan.
Oh, there you go. That's
But then I stopped caring about the NFL completely, so I just like
I don't
to
really
watch.
pay attention to it too much.
I just watch the Patriots because they're fun to watch because they always win. It's nothing against the Eagles. I still look and watch every once in a while. Hey,
Every year, every year they're hyped up really good, and then they just find a way to blow it. Anyways,
But yeah, nonetheless. So now Pittsburgh, they have the 6th most Stanley Cup titles with 5. They're tied for 6th with the Oilers, who also have 5.
they've also never won a Stanley Cup at home.
Yeah, I mentioned that. Yeah,
They've
isn't
won
that
all
nuts?
5 on the road.
That's crazy. That's that would suck.
That's the reverse LA Kings. That's
I know.
not
what
throwing
was the
game.
tweet?
That's
I
like,
saw a tweet. It's why did the Penguins always win on the road? Because you never throw a party at your own house. Is the rule. You just trash Nashville and then you go home.
and you leave.
Yeah. Well, actually,
They pick nice places. San
the
Jose.
Stanley Cup has
Nashville.
the
Detroit, not so much.
The Stanley Cup has a timeshare at Mario Lemieux's house, if you didn't know, because he's there quite often.
Who did they beat in the 90s for their cups? Do you know?
That's a great question.
Oh.
Look that one up. Okay, Matt and I will each get a guess.
Oh, I have
They won
no
2,
idea.
so
Yeah, back to back.
You get 2 teams.
Well, I feel like it was the Whalers, and I have no idea why, but I know I'm
Uh,
gonna be.
So I'm gonna say
That's my guess. I'm stamping in because I'm gonna sound like a genius if I'm right.
It was 90-91, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they won 90-91, 91-92.
I have no idea.
Well, while you're looking it up,
I wasn't even born yet, guys. God.
okay, fine. So while you're looking it up, Patrick Hornquist. I know not all the.
No,
injuries.
it wasn't 90 because the Oilers won it 90.
No, 90-91, and then
91, so
92.
91 and 92.
Yeah.
That's surprising. 91, they beat the Minnesota North Stars.
Dang. Okay.
Maybe that's what you're thinking of.
Okay, wait. I get it. I stick with Hartford on
92, they beat Chicago.
Okay. Is that with like the? I couldn't even name a guy in Chicago at that time. I don't even know anyone on that team. Nope, I don't know. Patrick Hornquist apparently had a broken finger in the Cup final, and Nick Bonino tried playing with a broken tibia.
Not the best
Well, he
idea,
actually
Nick.
did finish the game.
Yeah, did you hear his interview? He's so nonchalant about it. They're like, okay, Nick, so now that the season's over, tell us what was wrong. And he's like, oh, in game 2, I broke my tibia. And they're like, what? And I think
so
it was David
whatever.
Amber or
Didn't
something.
you come back for the second?
He's
and
like, oh
third?
yeah, we just zapped it up, or he said a word, and I'm like, that's super nonchalant to say you froze your half your bottom, you froze a quarter of your body and kept playing a sport.
Considering Stamkos missed 6 months with that.
And he tried and people are like, they were tweeting pictures like, oh, hockey tough, where he's walking around with a boot.
Yeah,
and
but that comes to a point where you're just stupid.
No, and I follow like certain writer Jeffler. He's fantastic. He covers the Leafs, but he like has an opinion on like pretty much everything, but not like a crazy opinion either. He was like, he said what you said. He's like, at a certain point, you're doing way more
It's
harm
not even
than
the
good.
player. It's fine if the player the player is going to want to play. It's the medical staff that's needs to step in and be like, no.
Yeah, like use you
Unless-
as the example. Say if
Unless it was a break that they didn't, maybe they checked it out, didn't think it was a break, put him back in, then did some imaging after the game, and it was broken. But
what are the Flyers doctors?
Unless
you don't have a concussion.
unless
go
it's
play.
a hairline fracture, you break your tibia. Yeah, you're not standing on that leg. So
Well, and the way he went down too, like
didn't he get a shot right in the leg?
That's how he
was
broke it
yeah.
because he blocked in. I think
DK,
it like
right? No,
probably that's
No.
my guess.
who was it?
It was one of their defenders.
Do we know-
I think it was Ellis actually.
Do we know what happened to
Was it
Ryan
in the
Ellis?
final? Yeah, it was in the final.
I have not heard.
Because I know he couldn't even take shots in warm up in Game 6. Like something happened.
Did
in
you
Game
notice
5.
how on the game winning goal when Rene was going back to try and get the puck, he just smoked Ellis in the mouth with his
Yeah,
stick?
I
yeah,
noticed that.
I was like, oh man.
yeah. Oh, and then Ryan
Not to
Ellis.
mention that goal goes in, but then you get hit in the face.
Well, and Ryan Ellis had some nice words for. Well, not nice words, but okay. I'm gonna blanket go this first. The Preds took it in stride. Like they were fantastic. They both like everyone on the team said. They didn't blame the ref. They said, you know what, mistakes happen. Human error is a part of the game. We want it to be a part of the game, as we've talked about before, like where you don't want everything to be called offside. And sure, there are questionable calls, that being a big one. But Ryan Ellis, he said, like, it's just it's unbelievable that in a Stanley Cup final, in a game where the cup is on the line, and that you have such a quick whistle like that. He's like, it's disappointing, but we take it as where you remember the feeling in the room and you want to be back. And I think actually Matt and I talked about this. We're texting about this. I think they have we think they have like a 2 to 3 year window left where they can make some noise.
3-year window because that's after the 3 years they have to re-sign Yossi.
Re-sign Yossi.
But they already
Ellis
have to.
is up
And in
this year.
between, not Ellis. Johansson's up.
Yeah.
And then Ellis is in 2 years, so their window is slow. It's closing, but they still have time to.
They've definitely got a couple years because a lot of their younger guys are going to just grow and get better in the next few years. And now they have experience. That's the one thing. You look at Pittsburgh, and they know how to win the Stanley Cup because they've done it now 3 times. And they did it last year. And you could tell. Even though, Nashville might have outplayed them for a majority of the final or more, a good portion of the final, but Pittsburgh knows how to win those games. So, as much as losing sucks for Nashville, it's the best thing that could have happened to them this year, aside from winning the Stanley Cup, was to get the experience. Because they have a very young team.
Yeah, and that's what
I
you
think
always
they
want.
could bolster their forwards a little bit. Their D is fantastic.
But to bolster their forwards, they're going to have to use their
Well,
D.
just free agency, right?
Apparently they're not
I'm
gonna
not saying they have to go out and sign
That's
their
true.
top 6, but maybe get a couple decent third line guys.
Yeah, pull a Chicago. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't even know why I said that. But, well, no, yeah, pull a Chicago. And
As long as Pekka Rinne stands on his head and does what he does, they'll have a chance.
Pittsburgh and Chicago have combined for the last 6 of 9 cups won in 6 of the last 9 years, yet they've never met in the finals. That's my early pick for next year. Besides, obviously,
Chicago?
Pittsburgh, Chicago, hold on. But, because I'm timestamping this, I'm writing this down. Philadelphia's making the playoffs next year. They might even win a playoff
I
series.
don't think Chicago's making the playoffs next year.
Oh, well, that's Matt's guess. That's Matt's guess. Fine, no, wait, we'll timestamp it now. Dan, odds on early pick for Stanley Cup final, not the winner, but you can pick the 2 teams.
I don't know.
You thought of the 2 teams right off the top of your head. You could say Winnipeg, I don't
It's
care.
so hard to pick with the expansion draft.
Yeah, done. That's why we're doing it now.
Fine, I will say...
Another team in my
I
head.
don't even know.
Another team in my head's Anaheim. One last hurrah.
Stanley Cup final next year?
Go. Tampa's a good one, too.
I was thinking Tampa.
Okay, so you lock her in. Yeah, I'm counting down from 5, and I'm pointing at you guys. You better have a pick.
Tampa's a good pick.
4, 3, 2, Matt.
Tampa versus... Oh!
I know mine.
Jeez.
Go.
Tampa Bay Lightning, Edmonton Oilers.
Oh!
That's mine.
That'd be phenomenal.
That's mine.
Tampa and Matt.
I might piggyback off Dan there.
Done. Okay, no, that's perfect. All right, moving on.
That's also partially what I would want to see. In my head, Winnipeg, but that's not happening next year, so...
You can say Winnipeg. I said Flyers are going to make the playoffs.
Well, I think Winnipeg
Dreams
makes the
do
playoffs.
come true.
The Jets will make the playoffs next year.
I hope they make it.
That's not a I hope they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs next year.
If they get it
Dan,
early.
are you sure they're going to be able to make it past those mighty Minnesota Wild again?
They're not going to have to worry about
What?
them. 'Cause there's going to be another team that's going to drop out. St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis and Chicago, you guys, are we best friends?
I think St.
You're
Louis.
finally buying into the hype that St. Louis is boring, right?
I don't think
We're in.
Chicago is going to be a high team next year. I think they'll get in, but I don't think they're going to be a divisional winner.
I read that stat and I just want them to meet. That's
Even
why.
with-
That's really it.
And honestly, I give Nashville a chance to get back to the final. I don't think they're going to be a high seed again either, though. I think they'll be middle of the pack. But they have the experience now, so all you have to do is get in.
Damn it, I should have taken Nashville. That's a good one.
I think Chicago just doesn't make it because they're losing so much depth this year.
It's Chicago. They have something.
always
They
find-
Like,
always
with the-
got something.
With this Trevor Van Riemsdyk and Kruger deal that they're talking about that's already pretty much done, they're also shopping Charmelson right now because they still aren't under the cap.
It's going to catch up with them sooner or later.
Well, I think this is the year where I think there's too much to overcome.
Okay, well, this is
But
why
then you
we
see
did
what
it.
Pittsburgh did with their decor, and I'm like, well,
We're doing a pre-expansion draft pick because next week I'm going to pick again, and I'm clearly not going to pick Chicago because thanks for talking me out of that one, guys. All right, well now we have Jets news, guys. First off, Jets Moose news. Former Moose coach Keith McCambridge got hired by the Hartford Wolfpack to be the head coach. And the Jets, I read a little tidbit that the Jets are apparently, they contacted the Rangers and they're interested in Antti Ranta.
I saw that too. Love it, but I don't think they're going to get him because to get him, they have to get him before the expansion draft, and they're not going to do that because they can't protect him.
That's mad.
Because he's getting picked up by Vegas. I don't think there's a chance that Vegas doesn't take him. I would love for him to be the guy that they get. I just don't think they can
Okay.
because they'd have to wait till after the expansion draft.
And by then he's
And
on
I
the team.
I don't think he makes it through the expansion draft.
Okay.
He's a perfect guy. He's probably the candidate, like the next, Martin Jones or this guy that's been a very, very good backup for a long backup for a long time and is ready to carry a team. I think he could be the guy.
Right,
So
Matt?
it's unfortunate just the way that things are.
This season
working
is
out.
madness. Like, because we have to talk like this, it's like normally it's like Jets contacted Antti Ranta. All right, draft day deal. Let's do this. But now it's like we have a whole new team. One team gets to pluck one guy from every team. And if you don't want them to pluck a certain guy, they're like, all right, you take 2 guys.
I mean, the other
And don't
option
touch
is
this guy.
the other option is you try and swindle him from Vegas after, but I don't think Vegas gives him up because
Well, you know what? They might actually because I think they're gonna go with Grubauer.
yeah,
So but why not have both? It's like the taco show. Remember, like that commercial with El Paso?
Because I think they need a good a veteran backup, and then maybe have.
Here's the veteran backup, Michael Neuwirth.
Yeah,
No!
can happen.
What
And
do
then-
the Flyers get stuck
No,
with? No
wait.
one!
Fleury.
To the Flyers?
There you go.
Yeah, right.
Fleury did.
Hextall's not going to call... Who's the GM of Pittsburgh? I'm drawing blank.
No.
What's
Fleury's
Rutherford?
Fleury has not waived to go to any team.
He waived his
Only
no
waived
trade
for-
clause in
to go to
February
Vegas.
for Vegas.
Vegas only.
Not saying he can't be traded, just saying he hasn't approved
Okay,
the
wait.
trade.
So you mean the Flyers are going to get Fleury from Vegas?
From Vegas.
Oh, they...
Well,
oh, yeah.
'cause
Hextall will call me.
Speculation right now is that if Vegas takes Fleury, they're going to flip him for something else. Because he's worth a lot right now.
You know what? There's a certain guy...
You know, and there's some young. Do not tell me terrible players that you think you can get
Stick
away
with me here,
You have
guys.
good young defensemen that they need because they have no defensemen. So they're taking some good young defensemen.
Fine.
Quiet.
I guess you'll have to... fine. I guess you can have UFA Michael Del Zotto from us.
There we go.
I'll allow it.
Did you guys see that there's a fantasy draft simulator or expansion draft simulator on TSN?
Oh, yeah. You have to make your
You go
team.
through and it gives you the list of who they think's going to be available, and you pick your team.
Yeah. Okay. Both of you, I want you guys to do that. Make your teams.
I did.
Take-
I didn't save it though.
Okay, do it again.
do it again.
Take screenshots. I'm gonna tweet it from the account the night of the and Matt. I'm gonna tweet it the night.
Not
of,
totally accurate though, and
No.
we'll explain why in a minute.
No,
'cause
no,
the
but-
Jets list is not what it's.
No,
gonna
no,
be.
but I pick your team, take a screenshot, send it to me. I'm gonna tweet out everyone's picks the night of because we're doing a podcast the night of the show. So
Yeah.
or the night of the show.
Yeah.
So and the night we find out Austin Matthews is Rookie of the Year. Can't wait. It's gonna be fantastic.
Um,
and if not, I owe like 3 people some wings.
With Fleury though, like I think Pittsburgh's gonna try as hard as they can to dump him before, so they get something for him.
But then again, your Ranta thing where you have to protect him.
But who?
You're gonna have to protect Fleury
If
wherever
you
he
pick him
goes.
up, yeah. So a team like Winnipeg, like I think they're gonna try and get him, but they're not gonna get him before.
Yeah, they'll wait for Vegas to.
The
You
Jets
know
are gonna. From what I've read, the Jets have talked to Pittsburgh about him, but I think they're gonna wait till if Vegas takes him.
Okay,
That's
you know
when
what?
the Jets are gonna have to make an offer.
Okay, I got a deal on the board here. All right.
But
You be George McPhee, I'll be Kevin Cheveldayoff. First off, this call doesn't
Hit me.
happen because Kevin doesn't make phone calls and trades.
Skypes.
Yeah, there you go. That's why. That's why people don't like him. He Skypes. Okay, you're McPhee. You have Fleury. All right. Bring.
I thought I was Chevy.
I'm Chevy.
'Kay.
Because there's no way you're gonna
Hello.
like this one.
Hello.
You're both not liking this one. Hey George, it's anyway. Hey George, it's Kevin. I'm trying to talk out of one side of my face because that's how Cheveldayoff talks.
Okay.
That's how you say hey, Kate. Oh yeah, I guess that's an answer. Kate.
Hey, Kev.
All right, I got a deal for you.
Hit me.
Think it
Hit
out.
me.
All right, what do you do in Vegas? How do you like your martini?
Shaken, not
Yeah, that's
stirred.
right, Josh Morrissey. Mark Andre Fleur, what do you think?
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, no, you would say yeah.
Oh,
you're
wait,
saying
sorry.
you're saying go fuck
Yeah.
yourself because you're a Jets fan.
You're
That's
right.
why I wanted you to be McPhee.
I forgot who I was. Yeah.
That's exactly why I put you McPhee because I knew where it was going the whole time.
No.
Yeah. Shaking.
No, I
yeah,
agree.
fuck yourself.
No. Vegas, yeah, take it. 100%.
Yes, please.
Yeah, 100%.
And then he'll be like, oh, you know what doesn't bloom in Winnipeg in winter? Flowers. Enjoy. Like, just toss them out. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I don't think
no,
it'll-
that wouldn't be awesome.
I think
I'd probably buy a Vegas jersey.
I can see the Jets doing like their first and maybe a prospect to try and get. I don't know if that'd be enough.
No? First
No,
in a
I-
prospect for Fleury?
Yeah,
I think
I don't
that's
know.
enough. But that's a lot, dude. He's got 2 years left on his contract after
That's
this
all
year.
you need.
Yeah, but at this point, the Jets need they need a veteran goalie for the next 2 years more than they need this year's first round pick.
Guys,
Go.
still Steve Mason. I'm telling you, he's coming to Winnipeg.
Yeah.
I've talked about this. I
I
had
feel
to
like-
deal with Steve Mason for, how long? 4 years now? 3 years.
I
I,
feel
don't
like-
know, 4?
I feel like the guy they might get is Brian Elliott.
You,
That could be an
Not
option,
saying
too.
I want him to be the guy they get,
Yes,
but
you
I
do.
feel like that might be.
You do because Jay and Dan are back in Canada, and how do they say Elliot? Elliot.
There we go.
You want Elliot back.
There
You
we
don't
go.
want Steve Mason. You don't want Steve Mason. I'm telling you.
I think Elliott's more. I think he's a bit older, but I think he's more solid than.
Hypothetically, my cart can't handle Mason closer to me. He caused me too much stress, and he was in Philadelphia. I watch him on TV, and I'm like, why does this guy do this? He gives you hope of like, hey, maybe he's in Calder, his rookie year form again. And then he's just like, oh, is that a breakaway? Oh, who's on that breakaway? Who's that, Matt Martin? Oh, yeah, just go shelf, bar down. That's
another guy that, his name hasn't really been brought. I saw a list of 30 guys who might get traded and the teams they might go to.
Okay.
This guy was on this list, and Winnipeg was one of the teams. Jimmy Howard. I can see that happening. Because he, again, fits that bill of a guy for 2 or 3 years to be your...
I also think that's one of those we have to
transition.
protect him though thing because I think they want to get rid of him before the expansion draft because I don't think
That's
they're going to lose him for nothing.
I don't think Vegas would pick him up, though. There's too many other options, I think.
I wouldn't
Maybe not, but...
Not in Detroit. They don't have that many good players, really. If you look
Well, I
at
saw
it.
on the TSN on their simulator of the list of guys that they had open. Ablocator was open. Darren Helm was open.
When you look at their contracts,
Mike
that's
Green
why
was
they're
open. So I feel like one of those guys they'll take.
Maybe just a flip because I don't see them.
Yeah,
using
maybe.
him.
Who did I
But
take
you
off
won't
that
be able
team?
to trade Abdul.
I think I took Mike Green because I was like,
I think I took Darren Helm or Abdul.
I didn't worry about the I was like, I didn't look at the
No, me
contracts
neither.
they're on. I'm just like, I need a D.
That'll take care. No, but I looked at the players and then like it's like, oh, and it tells you if you're like short and you can't have the team if you don't have the 3 checks.
I went over the cap.
You have to have a.
I was way under the cap.
I was way over the cap.
I think I took 16 forwards, 11 D, and 3 goalies.
Well, I think they make you take a certain amount
Yeah.
too. Like it'll let you know, but I'll tweet
I
out the
had
link.
lots of centers.
I'll tweet out the link.
Because I kept I took a center from one team. I'm like, oh, that guy's available. I'll take him. And then I looked at my board. I'm like, too many centers. I think I had 6 or 7.
Well, I looked off. Yeah, I what I did is I started D. I went goalie, D, then forwards, and like it eliminates the teams
Who are
as
your
you go.
goalies? Mine, I had Ranta,
Grubauer and Subban for me.
And what else did I take?
Malcolm Subban. I don't have PK Subban playing.
I had
Goalie.
Subban, Grubauer, and Fleury.
I don't know if I took Fleury.
I took Fleury.
Who did I take from Pittsburgh? I think I took Hagelin, maybe Hagelin or Bonino. Either way, you'll see once our picks come out.
Yeah.
Are there any other news from Jets?
Yeah,
I think you mentioned
pretty big news actually. Well, not big news, but big implications.
Okay.
They signed Marco Dano today to a 1-year, one-way, $850,000 contract.
Okay.
The reason that's a big factor is I will read it to you right here. So,
Perfect.
the big question has been whether Toby Enstrom, whether they asked him to waive his no trade, whether he would waive his no trade. They came out Monday and said they're not going to say anything until after the list came out.
Oh,
Which
no
to me,
surprise.
you want my opinion? They asked him. 100% they asked him. Whether he said no, yes or no, I don't know. But I feel like if they didn't ask him, they just come out and say we didn't ask him to do it because a lot of other teams have said that. I feel like if he didn't waive, I feel like that might have gotten out. So my gut's telling me that they asked him to waive and he said yes. But there's a condition.
He wants an extension.
He wants a contract extension. Right? And I heard this on the radio.
What do you mean?
I heard this on the radio today. The rumbling is they asked him. He agreed to waive his no trade for the expansion draft if the Jets offered him a contract extension. So if he doesn't get picked up, he gets a contract extension with the Jets. So they might sign. So he might get an extra year or 2 here.
Oh, Toby, you dirty dog!
Now,
Look at him go.
The bigger thing, signing Dano. The reason that indicates now that's a pretty good indicator that they're going to go 7-3-1, and here's why. Because under the expansion draft rules, you have to leave open 2 forwards who are under contract this upcoming season and have played in 40 games last year or 70 games the prior 2 years. If the Jets went 7-3-1 and didn't have Dano signed, they'd only have 1 forward available for Vegas, Sean Matthias. Now they have 2. Because they signed Marco Dano. He was a free agent next year.
So they're going 7-3-1.
Yes.
And they're
So the only question now is, did Toby waive? Or are they going to send Vegas something to protect Tyler Myers?
Well,
and I don't know. It could go either way. What I read in this article today was that potentially a 2nd-round pick and Nick Patan to Vegas to not take Tyler Myers.
That'd be fair.
The Botanical Garden in Vegas?
Yeah.
I like it.
But I mean,
What I heard is that they asked Toby to waive. And this is all just what I think it's Westwood saying it, so who knows if it's true.
Now, pause. Troy Westwood is, you know how every town, we had Gary Lawless and Troy Westwood. Every town, actually, you know what? If you're listening and you're this far into the podcast, tweet us. like who your crazy person is, like the name or like who.
It's not bad.
No, but like every town's got like a kind of like a guy who can like you respect his opinion and whatnot, but like certain things he just goes off. We've talked about Westwood on the podcast before, where Troy Westwood was. When we had Andrew Ladd, he missed like the last few games of the season at Dallas road trip because one of his children are born. I think he's got 2 or just 1. Either way,
his wife gave birth. Like,
his wife gave birth,
game
and he missed the game. And Troy Westwood's like, "You're on a playoff run." They were well out of the playoff, but they still could have technically made it, I guess, if they went on a run.
I think the Jets' fever was still hot.
Yeah. Either way, Troy Westwood's our guy, so he's our nutso guy.
No, he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
He's questionable at best.
I listen to him every morning.
He goes off. He goes after other people on Twitter
out of his butt as much as Gary Lawless does.
Gary Lawless doesn't.
Who doesn't even work for the
How
TSN
dare you?
anymore, so.
Gary Lawless interviewed the new Vegas coach, and it was awesome.
Anyway, so long story short, signing Marco Dano pretty much indicates they're going 7-3-1. Just depends if it's Toby exposed or if they're going to make a deal to protect Myers.
And you were going to say?
Well, yeah, but I was going to say is one of the things could be that he waives, but then the Jets still send something to Vegas to protect him.
Okay,
but it'd be cheaper if it was Enstrom, right? Than
and
if it was
he gets
Myers.
his contract extension too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have to put up with Toby for an extra year or two to keep your team together, I mean, it's not the worst thing to have. He's probably going to get hurt anyways. If his contract extension is at a discounted price, like a bit of a discount, then
if it's a $2.75 million to $3 million contract, I'm not mad about it because he's still in our top 4, so you can't really be angry about it. But
if guys get hurt and you can shuffle them around,
and I don't think Josh Morrissey is prepared to take on the role of being the shoot man for the Jets, and by shoot man I mean the guy who gets yelled shoot at every game. Because I'm sure every fan base has one of those guys.
No,
I can't think of the Flyers.
I think that's going to be Trouba.
And what I'm saying is they hold on to the puck too long, and the fans are like, shoot, even when there's 4 guys in front of them. And you're like, what
actually, to be fair, Trouba just shoots the puck.
No,
so
my guess is
shoots the puck too much to be on a power play with Patrick Laine.
he's fine.
My guess is Josh Morrissey is the shoot guy because Morrissey's on power play too.
So the question,
at all.
So the question I have,
who's on power play too, right?
So the question I have is, do you protect Dano or Cop?
Cop, without a doubt.
No,
you keep that.
No, wait, hold on, pause. Together.
Dano's got more skill, but Cops plays probably a more prominent role right now.
Oh, God.
Well, you look at Dano did nothing when he went up and played with Scheifele and Wheeler, but when Copp went up there, he started scoring goals. So
to me, Dano's the guy that's going to get picked by Vegas.
Dano. That's his 3rd time I said it. I had to hear like you guys. I like
how
you just talked over it.
Or how old
He's
is he?
22, I think.
Jeez, was this his 4th team already?
Columbus, Chicago, Winnipeg. If he goes to Vegas, 4 teams.
That's what happens when you're 56.
He's going to be one of those guys that just kind of bounces around, though. Like, he's not terrible. He also missed, 30 games with a high ankle sprain or ankle fracture or something.
And what's terrible about... Well, not terrible.
But needless to say, my worries about the expansion draft are now gone, because everyone who was just like, oh, they'll lose Perreault, no big deal. You're an idiot if you don't think that's a big deal. To lose him for nothing.
I want Perreault to be gone. And I'll go on.
Everyone on the radio is just like, a lot of the guys on the radio are like, just let him, just lose Perreault.
You do. It's fine.
Yeah, you're going to give up a guy that scores 40-some-odd points a year for nothing.
He doesn't score 40, he plays 50. How does he score 40? That doesn't make sense.
His points per game is actually 0.6 something.
That's what happens when you play
Not
with...
bad.
Who was on this line last year? Who do you play with? I don't know the Jets lineup like you guys do.
Well,
I don't watch every game.
He kind of bounced in the 2nd and 3rd line.
Oh, so... Okay.
Well, he was on...
He
was with Scheifele for a little bit. Then
So
Who gets 40 points on the Flyers every year? 45 points every year on the Flyers.
40 to 45?
Yeah.
Who's not their top tier guys? Because Giroux, Voracek,
Name
Simmons...
a player that gets 40, 45 points a year.
Only 40, 45 or more?
Around 45. To 50.
Brain Chen.
Would you give him up for nothing?
For
Just
nothing?
give him away.
Well, if you had a contract that Perreault had, probably.
$4 million a year?
4.5.
No, 4.
4?
4 years, $16 million is what he signed. 4.1 a year.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Only to prove your point.
You would give Braden Shen away for nothing.
I'm only trying to
You're
prove a
getting
point,
nothing
Dan!
back.
I just don't like Perreault, that's why.
You're getting nothing back. I don't care if you don't like him. You're getting nothing back for him. Would you give him away?
The only problem I have
Probably
with
not.
Perreault,
No, I wouldn't give him.
I'm not saying you can't get rid of him. I'm saying if you're going to let him go to Vegas, why not trade him for something?
Yeah, get something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess.
Even if it's a pick, it's better than nothing.
Well, yeah, because I think also people in Winnipeg have a bad taste in their mouth because of just in terms of like losing a guy for nothing, Michael Frolik. How like they just sat on it and then he just walked. And it's like, well, if you're going to let it get to that point, last second trade him.
Well,
get
no,
something.
They tried to get him.
No, they kept him for that playoff run.
Oh, yeah. But they still could have traded. They still had the time.
They could have
right
traded
now
his
they're-
rights,
Yeah. Like, and again, I guess they had high hopes. And then he's like, I want 5. And they're like, and Chevy's just like, yeah, you could fuck off. Get out
Yeah,
of here.
but I
5.
feel like he's one of those guys that like he's here and you watch him play and you think he's so good, but then like in the scope of things,
I literally, you don't hear his name
like,
anymore.
he's
ever.
not terrible, but he's not a commodity.
Well, yeah, he's
He's
playing
a-
with superstars such as Sean Monahan,
He's never
Sam
played.
Bennett,
Never
Lance.
on the line.
Like,
Boom. No, I'm
never
saying
on
on
the
the
line.
team.
How
On
many-
the team, I'm naming players on their team.
Think about how many guys played for the Jets.
He
and
plays with Sam Bennett.
And you
No,
watch
he
him.
plays with
Think
Michael.
about how many guys have played for the Jets, and you've watched him play. You've been like, "Oh, he's not terrible. He's okay." And then he goes to free agency, and no one picks him up. You're like, "Oh, okay."
That's every
James
Jet-
Wright.
That's every Jets free
Jim
agent,
Slater.
actually. Yeah.
Like it's, yeah. Anyways,
What else do we got here? Oh yeah, Vegas. Speaking of Vegas, they have new assistant coaches. They have Ryan Craig, formerly of he played for the Wheat Kings. That's where I know him from. But he played for like
name sounds familiar.
he won with Cleveland last year in the AHL like Calder Cup, and then Mike Kelly. I feel like we should know who Mike Kelly is, but I didn't write down where he's from. But either way, those are some of their guys. Oh, and then I'm just going to name a bunch of coaches that got hired right now. So Flyers hired assistant coach Chris Knobloch. Do you know who that is?
No,
Is that the head coach?
he's got a pretty good last name. Though.
Head coach of Erie Otters, but the
Erie
head coach of the Windsor Spitfires, Rocky Thompson, is a new coach of the Chicago Wolves. And the Panthers hired a new coach, Bob Bugner, formerly of San Jose Sharks, which will help out because he's very defensive. And Florida gets peppered with shots, so they're Florida. Expect them to be much better than they were this year. Well, not much better, but
They were
good.
a disappointment.
More defensively sound, we'll say. All right, we go. Oh, my God! Best news of the year. Shane Goss is there. 6-year contract,
yeah.
$27 million, 4.5 bar. So now
How
that we
old
know,
is he?
23,
That's a good
I
contract.
think.
Well,
I'll say 23.
If he goes back
Let's
to
see
his
what
rookie,
he does,
yeah,
yeah.
he had a pretty bad sophomore year. If he goes back to
That's
his
what
rookie
happens
output,
when the
that's a good
greatest
deal.
defenseman in the world joins your team, Ivan the Conqueror Provorov,
I had to
or the
think about it.
Well, I have a lot of nicknames for. I'm just trying to think of the one I call him on here because I call him the Conqueror. I call him the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Trans-Siberian Snipe Show. Nice, Cameron. That's where I got the nickname. from.
Copyright infringement.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, we're going down. Anyways, what do you think of that contract there, guys?
That's a good contract.
It's good if he bounces back because
Yeah, that's true.
like you're gonna give a guy $4.5 million that you were sitting for a
And
couple
now-
games.
and now that you-
healthy scratch.
Earlier, Hackstall's awesome.
What was his point total this year? Not much. Eh?
I couldn't tell you. Maybe 30.
How many did he have in his rookie year
31?
though? He had 50 or something, right?
Yeah, he went on like an 18-game point streak, I think, in his rookie year. Again, I should know these stats. I don't know them off the top of my head.
The thing is, he's got to put up points because his defensive play is very bad.
And now moving forward, that's why you're mentioning of like trading a young guy to Vegas for Fleury makes. I never thought about it. Makes more sense because they have like their top 5 prospects in their system. Up, I guess once the draft happens, top 6 because clearly he, Shearer, Patrick are definitely going to be the number 1 guy. But okay, so in their system they have Philip Myers, they have Sam Morin, they have Travis Sanheim, Robert Haig, and damn it, who's that big bastard? No, that is Sam Morin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so they have 4. 4 of their D. They can trade one of those guys, and all
You can
those
trade
guys.
2 of them, truthfully, because you have Provorov, you have...
Well, yeah, you have Provorov,
Ghost.
you have Ghost, and Provorov's more his comparable is Roman Yossi. Like his projected comparable is Roman Yossi, where he's not going to blow you out of the water with points, but he does everything pretty solid.
I forgot to ask
Yeah.
you, how does it feel to know that Mark Strait's a Stanley Cup champion?
Oh, fantastic! I was very excited. Mark Streit and Ron Hainsey were who I was most excited for behind Phil Kessel. Phil Kessel's a 2-time champ, so I just want you to know that Phil Kessel 2 Stanley Cups,
Yeah.
Teemu Solani 1 Stanley Cup.
Did you hear...
I call my
Toronto
dad.
Maple Leafs in this era, 0 Stanley Cups.
That does it. How dare you? Greg's like listening to this now at home. Like,
They shipped him out.
well, yeah,
Couldn't carry a team.
They could never. He wasn't meant to carry a team. He's just fantastic. You know, he's first in like goals and like goals per game in playoffs in the last 2 years. Isn't that
Oh,
crazy?
he had a great year last
Yeah.
year.
Well, and this year did solid.
Yeah.
So
Did you guys hear what Phil did after they won? He skated by Bob McKenzie and Ray Ferraro, and he just goes, "Hey, 2 for 2, eh?"
Oh, JJ. Oh, I love him. Oh, he's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. Matt Murray, 2 for 2 in his first 2 years. He's still considered a rookie.
He's won 2 cups before he could win a Calder.
He's not even nominated for a Calder.
I know, but I'm just saying. He technically can't win a Calder yet, but he's won 2 cups already.
Well,
It doesn't make sense.
well,
It does make sense, but it doesn't make sense.
well, it's just stupid. It's just silly that
It's just stupid.
I would have given Well, I mean, we heard about this on the podcast. Like,
You know what's awesome?
I gave Murray the nod before Werenski.
You know what's awesome?
Go.
In NHL 17, you can get Matt Murray for nothing.
Oh, I know. It's
Because they haven't updated his worth yet. Because the
Insider
game was already
trading
done
right
by
there.
the time they won the cup last year.
Oh, the Kings signed Tyler Toffoli 3 years, 13.8, so 4.6 average. It's going to be interesting to see. I liked the one rumor that came out
I
that
think that's a little high for him. But
wait, I didn't mind. Well, I didn't mind that
guess it's a
contract,
bridge,
I guess.
eh?
But is that a bridge? Yeah, I
What?
guess 3 years.
Because he'll probably get more in his. If
Or maybe he was just trying to get 5 a year, like, or 5.5. Like, you want to start high and then meet in the middle, right?
Yeah.
You never
Well, because his first year was 14, right? When they
when they
the cup?
won, yeah. He was that 70s line of Jeff Carter, Toffoli, and Pearson.
Sorry, I'm thinking of Pearson. Pearson was the one that's not.
Tanner
Like-
Pearson was a guy who was an overager on Mark Scheifele's line.
Like,
in
he's not
juniors.
bad, but I think Toffoli's better.
Yeah. Well, Pearson, I remember, like, there's always a guy, like a sweetheart guy, usually who makes World Juniors. Like, one year it was J.C. Lapon, who was just tearing it up with Kamloops Blazers. And then Tanner
He
Pearson.
was on Team Canada?
Yep, he made Team Canada. And then Pearson made it because of Mark Scheifele, but whatever. I mean, Chris Kunitz makes Teams Canada.
Oh, was that the year that they were really terrible?
World Juniors?
Yeah.
With Mark Scheifele? Or with just that whole team?
Just that
There was a run of like 3 years where they didn't, or 2 years? 3 years.
It was
where
the
they didn't
it
go.
was the
That was the
lockout year
year-
where they were supposed to be good because Nugent Hopkins was there and
That was the year the games were at like 4 in the morning.
Oh, yeah, and I just basically didn't sleep
I
for like.
think they
2
lost to the
weeks.
States in the semifinals. Didn't they?
I think so.
I just remember. No, they ended up in like 6th that year, didn't
Did
they? I could be wrong,
I
but
don't remember.
they did.
I remember watching the games very early in the morning.
Yeah. All right. Well, to close out then, because I don't. Unless you guys have anything else to
Well,
mention.
while you're on the Kings,
Go.
rumors that they might be going after Vander Kane.
For either Jake Muzzin or Alec Martinez is the rumor.
Ooh.
Muzzin.
I hear that.
That's a big ass.
Yeah, but they need forwards. They don't really have a lot of D though either.
Jake Muzzin? He's deep partners with Doughty.
No, I'm
he's
saying.
not.
I'm saying.
Well, he used to be
I'm saying
forever.
if,
That's where he made
if
Team
they
Canada.
get rid of Muzzin, they don't really have anybody left. They have Doughty.
No, yeah, they have Drew Doughty.
Martinez is okay.
I'd probably trade even lower than that. And they bought out. Who'd you say they bought out today?
Matt Green.
Matt Green.
They're going to buy him out.
Oh, they're going to buy him out. Yeah, because I guess we're going to hear a bunch of news between now and then next Wednesday when the expansion / NHL awards happen.
And the Jets, back to the Jets real quick, they won't buy out Enstrom because then they're paying him for 2 years instead of 1. Technically, he only has 1 year left.
I love that play by Toby Enstrom. He's like, all right, I'll waive it. But if I don't get
That's
picked
just
up,
a rumor, but I mean,
But
but
if
it
that's-
makes sense, right? He's like, I'll do this for you. What are you guys going to do for me?
okay, so now who's
Because apparently he wants to stay here. He doesn't want to go anywhere.
okay.
So
Okay, final question then we'll end on this. If you're George McPhee and you know that Toby Enstrom's available, but you also know the other players are available, Dan, who are you taking? Toby, Dano, Matthias is what I'm assuming are the guys who are looking at?
I think that Vegas's decor won't be that bad with what they can get elsewhere. So I'd take Dano because he's a younger guy. He can probably grow into maybe, a decent forward for you.
Okay.
Sean Matthias, I don't see the appeal.
Okay. Matt?
I agree with Dan.
Which is fine because
Yeah.
I think Sean Matthias from the Jets is good. I like him. I think he's a good fourth
You know
line
what?
guy.
Because he played center for a long time, so I think he'll be a great 4th line center for us this year.
Marco Dano? Oh, Sean
Sean
Matthias.
Matthias.
Yeah, he
'Cause
was
then
solid on that.
that
He
third line
needs to be a 4th line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That 3rd line of Kopp, Lowry, and Armia got things going at the end of the year when Matthias was hurt, and they looked very good. So if you can keep that together, put Matthias on the 4th line with whoever your 4th line guy is.
See, I'm... Okay,
There's
so that's
a guy that I would. I'll save most of this for when we do our predictions for free agency or whatnot. But a guy that I would love for them to get for their 4th line, who's a free agent this year.
Yep.
Brian Boyle.
I knew exactly
He would
where
be
you're going with that.
fantastic for their fourth line.
Brian Boyle's not leaving Toronto.
I'm just saying.
Hell out of
he
here.
would be fantastic for their fourth line.
That's true.
Big veteran guy who's got some skill. Penalty killer, pretty sure.
You're just gonna love his climate change too, going from Florida to Winnipeg. He's just gonna be so
He's
happy.
not
Florida
leaving
stopping Toronto on the way.
He's not leaving
He's just
Toronto.
slowly
Get
going
out of
down.
here.
He went from New York to Tampa to Toronto to Winnipeg.
He's not doing it. He's staying in Toronto. Get out of town.
No,
I'll talk for Greg on this
will.
one.
He very well could. I'm just saying that's a guy I think that they should go after. A guy like him.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Or Nicky Bonino.
Unless Adam
pending
Lowry's
the
going to be your
broken leg.
fourth line center, but I mean, if
I don't-
Lowry's going to be your third
See,
line
I
center,
think it'd be that Lowry, Matthias, Armia line is a fourth line, and then you find a third line.
yeah, bolster up the third line a little
But
bit.
nonetheless, time to go. So next time you hear from us, there will be a new NHL team formed. So far, at least the structure of it, because they're going to have a podcast next Wednesday and next Friday. Expansion draft, NHL draft.
Oh, we're doing 2 next week?
Yep. Well, how else are we going to cash in on you spending like $80 on food next week? Come on.
Let's do it all at once.
Dan, we're ripping the Band-Aid. We're gonna not nice and slow. And then after that, Greg will start with the Treats of Pizza, and then the next week it'll be my Treats of Pizza, and then we each owe a Treats of Pizza. So we can't all get the same one. So we all have to get different ones too. So
Can we space them out, though?
no, we're doing week by week. Or do you want to make
Don't get 3 Treats pizzas at once.
because then it'll lose the value.
Yeah,
I get
space
it.
them out.
Okay, well we'll do them once every like 3
do like
weeks.
one now, do one on, like, I don't know, find a day in the
Yeah.
summer.
No, yeah. So space them out. So maybe like one. Okay, I get where you're going from. Nonetheless,
Don't blow your load all at once.
maybe
No, that wasn't the best.
No, we
wasn't the
got
best.
it. We got it. No,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
okay. I get it.
It wasn't the best analogy.
I pick up where you're putting down. I pick it up. I pick it up where you're putting down. It's okay. All right. Answer the one question I have is, who is your Troy Westwood / former Gary Lawless? I want to know that. And if you do expansion draft, take a screenshot of it and send it to Last Minute in PC, Twitter. You can email us at lastminutepc@gmail.com. You can find us on anywhere podcasts are found, any platform. So mainly, I guess, iTunes. I use Pocket Cast, or you can go to just podomatic.com. And for all of us here, thank you, and we'll see you next week when the Golden Knights will be a team. Do they have?
Jerseys
Go.
come out on the 20th.
Well, there you go. Then you're gonna. We'll talk about that next week
for every
too.
team.
Fantastic.
All the Adidas ones.
I wonder.
And there's like a good 10 or 12 teams who apparently are going to have big changes to their jerseys.
There you go. Now big
Apparently,
changes.
we
as well.
might be one of them.
I saw.
Might be going with.
I saw a preview logo of every team tweeted like a preview, like a little picture of their jersey with the Adidas on it, and it was the same. It wasn't the Winter Classic one.
Guys,
I was quite upset.
Don't
like,
don't get your hearts
Unless
up.
they're curveballing everyone, they're going to be like, "Oh, you thought it was the plain jersey?"
You guys,
Not.
whoever's listening, I'll only do it to Dan and Matt. I'll blink twice if they're changing their jerseys. Have a good one.